Hey everybody, Craig Lindell from the WaitingForNextYear.com podcast here with some WFNY TV. This is a new clip show because I listen to podcasts so that you do not have to. First up, we've got the Low Post podcast. Brian Windhorst was on this week talking about the Cavaliers and all the problems that they're having. What the hell's going on with the Cavaliers? Brian Windhorst breaks it all down.
Within the Cavs. So what in the hell is going on?
Oh boy. I don't know where to start. I don't know where it starts and where it ends. Immediately Sunday, I heard, the game was on Saturday. Immediately Sunday, I heard complaints about Kevin Love leaving midway through the game. And they were angry. He obviously was not feeling well. Nobody's really questioning that he wasn't sick. It was the fact that he would, quote unquote, abandon the team in the middle of like the lowest point of their season to that point. That's what people were angry about. But here's what it devolves into. Well, how come people are allowed to come late to practice? How come there's no accountability for this? How come there's no accountability for that? How come Derrick Rose is allowed to leave and have a 2-week break in the middle of the season? What if I want to go have a 2-week break? Can I have a 2-week break? And when you're losing, like all that stuff that you push down comes bubbling up. And the issue is, one of the issues is, the Cavs have a very young and inexperienced front office. And, whether or not that affects their decisions, the players seem to push back more than they maybe have pushed back if they had a more experienced front office. And, this is a team that is an older team, but at the same time doesn't have a lot of time together. There's 8 players that are new, so all the battles that the Cavs went through 2014, 15, 16, 17, where that team kind of came together, they don't have that same, history where they can get through that. And not only that, there's a lot of guys making a lot of money who aren't playing very well right now, and the result is just everybody angry at everybody else.
Guess what? There are a lot of angry Cavaliers fans too. Although they probably were more embarrassed, less angry when LeBron James decided to congratulate himself on his monumental point-scoring achievement even before it actually happened ahead of the Spurs game. It was ripe to be made fun of, and nobody had more fun with it, I think, than the Pardon My Take guys from Barstool Sports.
Diarrhea.
Got it. That was a fun game we played as a kid.
Yeah.
All right, and then the other Cavs news is LeBron James, in an Instagram post, has congratulated LeBron James.
But a twist.
It was young LeBron James.
Yes.
So I'm going to read a little bit of it. He said, he posted a picture of himself as like a 16-year-old, and he said, want to be one of the first to congratulate you on this accomplishment achievement tonight that you'll reach. Now, note that what I just said was LeBron talking to LeBron.
Yeah.
Only a handful has seen it too, and while I know it's never been a goal of yours from the beginning, please try to take a moment for yourself on how you've done it. So he's now telling young LeBron, who doesn't exist anymore,
right,
to find a time to take a moment and enjoy this.
That depends on your perspective on the linearness of time.
Okay.
So it's conceivable that young LeBron James still does exist.
He got caught
just
in
on
a black
different
hole.
plane. Yes,
yeah.
he's in a wormhole right now, but
yeah.
that's fine. He's not a physician. He's not a physics major. He's not Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Okay, so and then he continues, there's so many people to thank who has helped this even become possible. So thank them all. That's nice. LeBron reminding LeBron that he needs to thank some people.
Instead of thanking somebody, he's actually saying, this is his way of saying, I should have thanked them sooner.
Yeah, well, no, this is actually, now I'm actually seeing this part is smart by LeBron, because he's basically saying, if I don't thank you, then that was young LeBron. He's passing the buck backwards to young LeBron and being like, hey, listen, present-day LeBron told young LeBron to thank everyone. If he doesn't thank you, that's his fault.
That's he's
immature.
It's a real mind
He's a
fuck.
high school kid.
It's a real mind fuck, because what he's doing is he's passing the buck off to future LeBron, but future LeBron from a place of young LeBron. Mm-hmm. So he's saying young LeBron will thank you in the future.
Yeah.
Which is, my head is exploding.
And then he said, and when you finally get your moment alone to yourself, which I assume he's alone when he's writing this to himself, smile, look up to the higher skies, and say thank you. So with that said, congrats again, young king. So congratulations again, young LeBron, who actually, sabermetrically speaking, young LeBron scored exactly 0 points in the NBA.
Yeah. And
so he actually shouldn't be thanked at all.
And he's going on to have a college career where he also scores a total of 0 points throughout that entire. Yeah. So LeBron James, if I understand this correctly, he's subtweeting himself.
Yeah.
Because a senior in high school at that point didn't have an Instagram account or a Twitter account or
None
maybe
of those
Facebook,
existed.
possibly Facebook.
Yeah.
So he's subtweeting himself.
No, he didn't go to Harvard, so no.
Good point. So this is why I kind of like LeBron. I am genuinely cracking up every second of every time. Every single time you read something he posts, it is like the most unintentionally funny shit that you will ever hear in your life.
Okay, I'll give you that. It is unintentionally funny because he went first person, second person, and third person somehow.
He invented fourth person.
Yeah.
It's him referring to himself, but in the past. It's amazing.
And he still hasn't and he also is congratulating himself on something that he hasn't actually achieved yet.
Right, it's coming later on tonight.
Yeah, he has to still score 6 points. And if he somehow scores 5 and blows out his ACL, which would be a real shame, fellas. Real shame. This would be the greatest. This will go down as the greatest Instagram post of all time.
This reminds me of that movie with Keanu Reeves. It was like The Lake House. You remember that, when he would write letters to somebody that was living in his house?
Yes.
Was that in the future or in the past?
I don't know. This whole thing has my mind just twisted.
We need to remake that Lake House movie with LeBron James and himself living
Christopher Nolan should do that. Should be his next project.
Yeah.
Young LeBron to old LeBron to young LeBron.
LeBron, go work on your free throws.
Go look in the bookshelf, the Interstellar bookshelf. Young LeBron's in there somewhere trying to send you a message about how you should be gracious and smile.
What I like about LeBron, and you're going to tell me that I'm not a LeBron fan, but I am.
Yeah, for 3 days. Yes.
I have flipped, and I am now a LeBron stan. Absolutely. It's me and Nick Wright. And Nick is passing the torch to me because I think I've actually surpassed Nick Wright.
Nick Wright, who said Nick Foles is like the worst quarterback in the league and won't do anything with the Eagles.
Yeah, he pretty much says Nick Foles is the quarterback equivalent of 9/11.
Yes.
So
he's actually a friend of the show who I've squashed my beef, and I like Nick Wright.
I like Nick too.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to align with some of the takes that he's had.
No, I will. I'm surpassing his LeBron takes. And why I love LeBron is because he validates our industry. So he would not be like this. He would not be doing all this stuff publicly if it wasn't for us questioning him all the time. Mm-hmm. So he's basically like a victory cigar for the takes industrial complex. To be like, we
journalists,
won.
Yeah.
Journalism won, and we can take the best athlete of our generation, and we can turn him into an insecure 14-year-old.
Yeah, talking to himself in the past.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
So in that respect, yes.
He makes me feel great about myself.
So congratulations to past Big Cat and future Big Cat for all the work he's done.
Past PFT for firing up the takes so hot that the best athlete in the world feels inferior to you.
I actually think I have a big piece.
I know we all owe LeBron a lot, and we love LeBron, and he's worth every moment of pain, but you got to admit, that's kind of funny. Next, we're going to the Ken Carman Show featuring Anthony Lyman. Not a podcast, but they have a podcast. I subscribe to it. They had Chris Mannix on from The Vertical, and this is like one of my favorite things ever. This is in the Cleveland sports Snopes of all time. He brings up the idea that the Cavaliers passed on trading J.J. Hickson for Amare Stoudemire in reference to the Brooklyn pick, which we all know. The Cavaliers never decided not to trade J.J. Hickson for Amare Stoudemire. Phoenix pulled that deal off the table, but that rumor, that implication seems to just live on forevermore, no matter what. It's the Cleveland sports Snopes.
Somebody of that ilk without including the Nets pick, and that's the biggest decision that Kobe Altman and Dan Gilbert have to make over these next few weeks. I mean, they have to decide whether they're drawing a line in the sand on that Nets pick, or if they're willing to include it for a deal that could, get them an elite player. And I caution against people that think the Nets pick should be kind of put in a lockbox and tucked away. In some respects, and it's not exactly the same, but in some respects, it reminds me of what happened back in 2010 when the Cavaliers refused to include J.J. Hickson in a deal for Amare Stoudemire. I mean, Hickson didn't charge me.
Yeah, you're cut off, Chris Mannix. Like a drunk in a Cleveland bar at the end of the night, you're cut off. I'm not even going to – I just cut that clip off. I love Ken Carman and Anthony Lima. We're not finishing that clip. The J.J. Hickson thing, I just can't. So the final clip, I kind of buried the lead. The most important clip is Joe Thomas on the Tomahawk podcast with Andrew Hawkins and No Face Dan. I think it's No Face Dan. Anyway, talking about why he supports the return of Hue Jackson, why he thinks Hue Jackson never got a fair shake. And he also says that while Hue Jackson knew that the Browns were going to use analytics and was on board for analytics, he did not know, or Joe Thomas claims that he did not know, that it was going to be a full-on tank job. So here's the clip from the Tomahawk Podcast.
You start saving your picks again for another 3-4 years, right?
Right.
So the Browns hired Paul DePodesta, who was one of the Moneyball guys. They hired Sashi Brown, who was a super smart NFL lawyer who had never been on the personnel side of things. And they thought, well, the best opportunity for the Browns to turn around, if you give us 4 solid years, would be to do this sort of baseball approach where you sort of micro tank at the beginning, you save your salary cap space, you compound your draft picks by trading out and then getting future years draft picks. And then in years 3 and 4, you're going to have all these draft picks, you're going to have all the salary cap space, and then you can go on a little run. You can find your quarterback, however that may be, because in the NFL, you have to have the quarterback, then you can compete for a championship. No quarterback, no chance.
Right.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
So that was basically the strategy. But according to some people that I know, Hue Jackson was never let in on that strategy. So he takes the job. He's looking at the roster. He's going, wow, there's a lot of talent here. Like, I really think that we take the traditional approach. We draft the guys that we can draft. We sign a couple free agents. I have confidence in myself as a coordinator, as a coach. I think we can be a really good team and quick.
Yeah.
So he takes the job, and then all of a sudden we get rid of a litany of guys. Litany. Alex Mack, Mitchell Schwartz, Tashawn Gibson, Jabal Sheard,
Taylor
Gabriel,
Travis Benjamin.
So we basically,
Craig Roberson,
all of our
Johnson
guys
Batamosi.
that were in the prime of their career, years, let's call it 4 through 8, the prime of your NFL career.
Yep.
We either didn't re-sign, traded, or just flat out cut. So now we've got all these rookies, and of course that's all you have. You have to play them.
Right.
So for 2 years, we're basically just getting these rookies experience with the understanding that we're going to get high draft picks, and in years 2018, 2019, now we're going to be able to go on our little run, right?
Yeah.
Find the quarterback, do whatever we have to do, and it's going to be good. Well, the summary was Sashi, Paul, when they come up with the strategy, I don't think they fully understood how painful it is to lose in football.
Yeah.
They don't understand how it ruins careers, how you have that stain with you as a coach, as a management, as a team, and how it doesn't come off like it does in baseball.
Right.
And in baseball, if you're losing, the fans just stop watching. Nobody's going to get hurt. It's a non-contact sport.
Yeah.
If you're just outmatched from a talent standpoint, you're not going to get hurt. But in football, that's a different story.
Right.
And the pain of losing, the way it's going to follow all of us who were involved in these 2 years for the rest of our lives, I think was overlooked by that management team.
Right.
And it was so painful around here to go through that I think Jimmy and Dee, who are the owners of the Browns, realized that it's either Hue or Sashi. We can't keep both of them because the relationships in the building had just soured so much, and there was so much bitterness over the plan that you had to pick between one of those two. And I think we have not given Hue Jackson yet an opportunity to show what type of coach he is and can be. And I think basically we need to give him at least this year, 2018, to prove that he is
if we
a
get
great coach.
The roster.
If we get the
if
roster.
we give him the players that he needs to be successful.
There you have it. From the mouth of Joe Thomas on the Tomahawk Podcast. Please make sure you check out all these podcasts. I listen to them. I pull the clips so that you can get the juicy bits, but you should get all the juicy bits by just subscribing to all the podcasts. Subscribe to the Waiting for Next Year podcast. Tell a friend about this YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching. We'll do it again. I don't know if it's going to be weekly, but we'll do it again soon. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking it out. And talk to you next time.